Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our online session. Our today's topic is drugs used in heart failure. At first, I want to show you the schematic view of the heart. Here is the right atrium and left atrium, the right ventricle and left ventricle. Here are the valves, and this is superior vena cava and there is inferior vena cava, through which the used blood comes into the right atrium. And there is the aorta by which fresh blood goes to the body, and this is the pulmonary artery through which used blood goes to the lungs, and these are the pulmonary veins through which fresh blood comes from the lungs to the heart. Today, at first I want to discuss what is cardiac failure. Cardiac failure is a physiological state in which the heart cannot pump enough blood to meet the metabolic needs of the body. Or in one sentence, we can say that cardiac failure is a condition in which the heart fails to pump. It occurs when the cardiac output is inadequate to provide the oxygen needed by the body. The most common cause of cardiac failure is decreased ejection fraction. Now, what is ejection fraction? It is the ratio between the amount of blood pumped out of the ventricle and total amount of blood in the ventricle. It is expressed through percentage. Now, what is the etiology of cardiac failure? Preload, afterload, force of contraction, and heart rate are the four essential components that causes the cardiac performance. Here you see the preload and afterload. You know that the volume of blood in the ventricles at the end of the diastole is called preload. That means it is the end diastolic pressure. And afterload is the resistance against which the left ventricle circulate blood to the whole body. If preload is increased and afterload is increased, the cardiac workload is also increased. Now, what are the types of cardiac failure? There are two types of cardiac failure, high output failure and low output failure. Now, what is high output failure? It is not actual cardiac failure. It is only due to increased peripheral demand. In case of anemia, beriberi, hyperthyroidism, pregnancy, the body demand increases. So, in case of treatment, there is no role of cardiac glycoside. If the pathology are corrected, then heart failure will be corrected too. And low output failure is actually cardiac failure in which heart muscles becomes fatty and as a result cardiomegaly occurs. Now, NIHA classification, which means New York Heart Association, classified or graded the condition of the heart failure. Grade 1, there is no limitation. That means no work, no dyspnea or palpitation. Grade 2, there is mild limitation. If dyspnea occurs while walking on the flat surface, it is called grade 2. Grade 3, there is marked limitation. If dyspnea occurs while getting from the bed, it can be classified into grade 3. And grade 4, this is a severe condition of heart failure in which the symptoms are during resting on the bed. Now, what are the consequences of heart failure? These are the consequences like cardiomegaly, tachycardia, edema, dyspnea, etc. I will discuss the four consequences details in the next slides. At first, I want to discuss the cardiomegaly. How it happens? At first, cardiac muscle fails to pump. That results decreasing the stroke volume and cardiac output. So, residual volume accumulates within the heart. So, size of the heart gradually increases beyond the limit of the Frank-Starling law. So, cardiac muscle cannot contract sufficiently. and further increase of the residual volume, and as a result, enlargement of the heart occurs, that termed as cardiomegaly. Now, tachycardia. It means the increased heart rate. If cardiac output decreases, then spontaneous reflex of the sympathetic overactivity works. So, sympathetic activation causes increased heart rate. Now, edema. In case of congestive cardiac failure, both heart rate and stroke volume is decreased, which causes decrease of the cardiac output, and renal blood flow also diminished, as well as GFR. That means glomerular filtration rate is also diminished, which stimulates the renin-angiotensin system. That will cause salt and water retention, and as a result, edema occurs. Now, dyspnea. Dyspnea means breathing problem. In case of edema, water accumulation in the lungs. So pulmonary edema occurs and less gaseous exchange causes dyspnea of the patient. Now, what are the drugs used in congestive cardiac failure? Drugs that decrease both preload and afterload are angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor like captopril, enalapril, lisinopril, angiotensin receptor blocker like losartan, valsartan, candesartan, beta blocker like atenolol, propanolol, spironolactone, which is a potassium sparing diuretics. Drugs that decrease the preload. Diuretics like loop diuretics such as thiazide, furosemide, etc. Organic nitrate, that means glyceryl trinitrate or isosorbate mononitrate. Drugs that decrease the afterload. Hydralazine, which is a direct vasodilator, calcium channel blocker like amlodipine, nifedipine, nicardipine, etc. Inotropic drug that increases the force of contraction. They are dopamine, dobutamine, phosphodiesterase inhibitors, and cardiac glycoside. Today I will discuss details about the cardiac glycoside. Cardiac glycoside comes from the foxglove plant. Here is the figure of this plant and flowers. It is plant in origin, leaves and seeds of foxglove. It is non-nitrogenous and sugar-containing compound. Its chemical structure has two parts, sugar part and non-sugar part. Sugar part is also called glycone and non-sugar part is also called aglycone. Glycone part is responsible for its pharmacokinetic property and aglycone part is responsible for its pharmacodynamic property. Now, what is the mechanism of digitalis or how digitalis produces its action? At first, digitalis inhibit the sodium-potassium ATPase pump. So, increase intracellular concentration of sodium. And increased intracellular sodium causes inhibition of the sodium-calcium exchange. So, increase intracellular calcium. Besides, increased calcium opens the voltage-gated calcium channel also. So, more calcium enters into the cell. And all this phenomenon causes cardiac muscle contractility. That means increased force of contraction. Now, what are the indications of digoxin? These are congestive cardiac failure, supraventricular tachycardia, atrial flutter, and fibrillation are the indications. Whereas ventricular flutter, ventricular fibrillation, heart block, constrictive pericarditis, and pericardial effusion are the contraindication of the cardiac glycoside. Now, what are the adverse effects? This is important. Cardiac and extracardiac. In cardiac effect, there is arrhythmia, that means bradycardia and ventricular flutter or fibrillation. Extracardiac means GIT problem like anorexia, nausea, vomiting. CNS problem like insomnia, disorientation, depression. Eye problem like blurring vision, photophobia, disturbance in the color perception, and gynecomastia also. Now, what is the drug interaction? Digitalis causes many interaction with other drugs. If thiazide is given with digitalis, free digitalis in the plasma and which may cause digitalis toxicity. So we should be careful. If digitalis is given with beta blocker, more bradycardia may occur that leads to the heart block. If digitalis is combined with calcium channel blocker, then free digitalis also happens and which causes digitalis toxicity. Digitalis has relation with some ions, decreased potassium and magnesium, and also increased calcium and sodium causes digitalis toxicity. You have to memorize it because of your MCQ and Viva. Now, how will you treat a case of digitalis toxicity? At first, you have to monitor the vital signs like heart rate, blood pressure, and also the clinical symptoms like anorexia, nausea, vomiting of the patient. If you see that the patient is going to develop digitalis toxicity, then you should stop the drug. And potassium supplementation by potassium chloride preparation. Potassium containing food also improve the condition like banana, coconut water, etc. Potassium sparing diuretics like spironolactone. Phenytoin dissipant is also used to improve the condition. Here, MCQ question may come, name some drugs that have low therapeutic index. Number 1 is digitalis. Besides, phenytoin, barbiturate, theophylline are also low therapeutic index. So they have to be given with very care. Now, written question may come, role of angiotensin converting enzyme in case of treatment of heart failure. Number 1, they reduce both the preload and afterload because angiotensin converting enzyme causes reduction in the production of angiotensin 2. As a result, decreases workload and increases the cardiac output. They are the only drug that reduce the peripheral resistance, that means afterload, without causing a reflex activation of sympathetic overactivity because there is reset the baroreceptor at a lower level. They enhances the parasympathetic activity also. These type of drugs are very useful for diabetic patients because they causes less chance of diabetic retinopathy. Now the role of loop diuretics like thiazide, furosemide, etc. They cause excretion of salt and water through the kidney. As a result, systemic and pulmonary fluid overload decreases. They also increase the renal blood flow by decreasing the renal vascular resistance. Now, role of carvedilol, that is both alpha-beta blocker. It is a potent antihypertensive agent. It decreases the peripheral resistance by alpha blocking effect. As it also blocks the beta receptor, it inhibits the production of the angiotensin 2. It does not interfere with renal autoregulation mechanism. Moreover, it has antioxidant, antiarrhythmic, and anti-proliferative property. Thank you all. Allah Hafiz.